What's up, everybody? Today was actually a really amazing day at the garage sales. It is now 10 o'clock at night or so on Saturday night. I was out garage selling for about 5.5 hours, and then Katie was actually off for the day, so we ended up going to a park and to a movie and stuff. So I'm just now getting a chance to do a video for you guys, but lot of stuff to go over, a lot of stuff to show. When I left the house this morning, I had sort of a plan. There was a community sale, not a huge one, but maybe like 6 or 7 blocks or so that were supposed to have a lot of sales going on. And I left the house around 7:30, got to that area, and pretty much the 5 sales that I saw set up were all people in their 70s, and all the stuff was basically books and little knickknacks and things. So it wasn't a great start, and I decided to just kind of stay in that area just in case of some more tables, where garage sales actually started opening up. For about the first hour and 15 minutes, I found nothing. Not a single thing. I take that I found one PC game that I didn't buy, but obviously I don't really do anything with PC games, so I passed on it. About, I'd say, an hour and a half or so after garage sailing, and I was thinking that today was going to start off really good because I've never had bad luck at any community neighborhood type of sale. The very first thing I bought was a copy of Soul Reaver 2 on the PS2, and it didn't even have a manual. I bought it for $1, and honestly at this point I was sort of thinking of giving up and coming home for the day. Because, like I said, I've already been gone for an hour and a half. It's going on 9 o'clock. And at least around here, and probably for most places, garage sales, the prime time is like 8 o'clock till maybe 9:30. After that, you go to a lot of places and they say, oh yeah, we already sold this stuff earlier on. But I decided that I was going to at least go to the only garage sale I saw listed online that said they were going to have video games. They didn't start until 9 o'clock. But I wasn't really close enough to that area to be there at 9, so I didn't have good feelings about that either. By that time, it was like 9:30. I get to that house, and there was 2 sales right next to each other. One had a boxed Wii used, and it was missing some stuff. It was missing like the Wii Sports it was supposed to come with and something else, and they wanted $60 for it. I passed on that after kind of talking to the lady, and she's like, well, I'll do $50. I'm like, that's not, I mean, they trade in, I think, for like 12 or 15 bucks now or something like that at GameStop. So I'm like, they're just not wanted or worth it. So I went next door, and they had a little bookshelf, and on the bookshelf, I have everything sort of separated, so give me a second. On the bookshelf was these 4 games. It was a copy, a little bit of a dirty copy, of a Sonic Classic Collection on the DS. A very dirty copy with no manual of Super Smash Bros. Brawl. Like you can see, there's some staining. The disc wasn't too bad, though, on that. A copy of Dead Island Game of the Year Edition on the 360. And a copy of Dishonored on the 360. And I think Katie's going to make a quick appearance. Sneaking out of the game room. I'm not in the game room also, guys, because it is a disaster in there. I mentioned in the last video that I was doing some like remodeling, reorganization, and sort of packing away some things, and that's still underway. But anyways, so those 4 games I got. He said originally he said $15, and then I offered him 10, and he said, yeah, that's fine. And he says, well, I'm still pulling out stuff. I guess they have a shed, and that's probably why some of the stuff was a little dirty and stained. But he said, we have a shed that I'm pulling things out of, and I'm pretty sure there's more games in there. So I said, all right, well, I'll do a little bit. Bad shadow. Hold on. There we go. I'll do a little bit more garage sailing around here, and then I'll swing back by if you want to set them aside for me. And I went down the road, not even maybe around the corner, and there were 3 sales. All, I don't know, sort of older ladies, so I wasn't expecting to find anything there. At those sales, though, I got, hold on. Where is it? Oh, there it is. The first one for $1. I only picked this up because I can't say that at a garage sale I've ever found one. And that is a Game Boy, Game Boy Pocket, and Game Boy Color AC adapter, which is pretty cool. Like I said, I've never really seen one, but that was only $1. I've never seen them at a garage sale. I've seen them when we used to sell them at the video game store. But then the house across the street from that had 2 PS2 games, which I picked up. That is Evil Dead, Fistful of Boomstick, and the Sonic Mega Collection Plus on the PS2. Both those were in really nice shape. It was one of those, the son moved out a while ago, and those were the few things that he has left at their house, so she decided, screw, I'm going to sell it. Kind of wish, obviously, there were some more stuff that was left at that house. But, so those were $1 each, and then across the street from her, that house didn't have any game stuff out, but the wife said, I can text my husband and ask him if he'd be willing to sell any of his PS3 stuff. She tried to text him, he didn't answer, and I said, well, here's my telephone number. If he does get back to you, let me know. Not even 10 minutes later, she texts me back saying, he said that, I could sell the PS3 stuff. So I head back over there, and it's a stack of pretty much sports games. The only 2 that weren't were actually sealed copies, which were kind of weird, but sealed copy of God of War Origins Collection, and a sealed copy of Warhammer Space Marine. Now, I'm pretty sure the God of War was probably a pack-in with something. I believe maybe the controller, and I don't know why the Space Marine wasn't open, but so I picked those up. Well, I picked those up. I didn't buy them yet, but I grabbed those off the stack, and I just sort of asked. I was like, he said to sell all his PS3 games. I was like, is he interested in selling the system? I have to jump in and tell you a little backstory of why I'm looking for a PS3 system. Yesterday, my PS3 crashed. It is dead, and so now I'm in the need of one. And she said, well, he would probably sell it, but it's broken. So I was like, okay, well, I'm still interested if it's broken because there's still value. There's still value in them just because they're not working. So she tried to get a hold of him, but he wouldn't answer his phone, and he was having trouble answering texts. He finally got back to her. I stood around for about 5 minutes or so. He got back to her and said, yeah, I'll sell the system, but he wanted to sell it for I think $50, but it was just going to be the system. It's a 60 gig, let's see. Yeah, this is it. 60 gig PS3, and he said that I just want to sell that. He didn't want to get rid of any of the controllers because apparently he thought the controllers would be good on the PS4, and I told the wife, I was like, no, they won't work. It's not backwards compatible at all. And I guess she was about to text him that, and then he texted back and said, okay, well, I'll throw in a controller, but it'll be $10 more. And I was like, okay, well, it's not going to be really worth it. We went back and forth about 3 or 4 times. I said, well, I want these 2 games. I would like the system, but I really couldn't pay more than $40. So the husband finally said, okay, we'll do $40, and you can have one of the controllers. She brings out just a 6-axis one that had soda spilled into the triangle, circle, square button. And I was like, well, this is pretty gross. And you said you had 2 controllers. What's the other one? And of course, the other one was a very nice condition, red DualShock one, no soda included. And we were still going back and forth, because now this was the controller that he didn't want to get rid of. He told her to get rid of the black one. Long story short, after many text messages, finally, I was probably there about 25 minutes. Finally, he said, okay, just do, $40. You can have the red controller. It came with a power cable, but no audio-video cable, and no charge cable for the controller either. And then I got those 2 sealed PS3 games. $40 for it not being 100% complete is a little more than I would be interested in paying for a broken one. But I still, I think can get the value back out of it. And actually, I'll probably keep this other red controller and just throw in one of my plain black ones. I'm out of breath. And we're about halfway done. So then, after that, I drive back by the guy's house where I got the Sonic and those couple 360 games, that Wii game. And he had a stack I put them in cases just to keep them from getting scratched up, but he had a stack of disc-only GameCube games, and I was on the phone with Katie as I'm going through them. I'm just like, this one, this one, this one, this one, this one. There was quite a few good ones in there. These are the ones I got. It's Legend of Zelda, Four Swords Adventure. Got a copy of Mario Party 6. A copy of Zelda Collector's Edition. We have Twilight Princess. And then this right here is, there's 3 of them in here. We got Super Smash Bros. Melee. And then on the other side we have Animal Crossing and Mario Party 4. There was like a Soul Calibur 2 and Resident Evil 4. They had both discs, but they were a little scratched up. These are a little dinged up too. They're by no means in perfect shape, but I ended up getting them for $1 a piece. So even being scratched up, I wasn't going to pass those up. Now, that was the second trip I went there. I left again, drove around, didn't find anything. On the way back by, sort of in that area, I was like, you know what, I didn't even give the guy my phone number. That's so stupid, because obviously he's pulling stuff out and finding things. So I went by to give him the phone number, and his girlfriend was coming out of the house, and she goes, oh, the game guy's back, and she had a copy of Rugrats in her hand, which I passed on for the N64, but then also Zelda Ocarina of Time and Smash Brothers. Those, for some reason, I guess the family has a little bit more of a connection with the N64, so he wanted $5 a piece for those, but still, that was fine by me. So that house was probably the best game score. Well, no, I take that back. That house was the best game score at that point of the day. After that, I went to a house where they're like definitely resellers in the sense of everything. Like they had tons of lawn equipment and tools, and they had quite a few systems and random cords. I just noticed this video is getting like 12 minutes long, so it's probably going to go to like 20 minutes, so I'll speed up a little bit. At that sale, for $70, this is everything I got. There was a total of, 2 of them on the floor. We got one black DS with a charger. That works. We have a PSP 1000 model with, no, that one did not come with a charger, but it does work. There was this Mario 25th Anniversary Edition DSi. Unfortunately, this one does not work, and he told me that he goes, my son dropped it. I didn't see any like physical damage on it, no cracks, but he said the son dropped it and it's not working. I have a feeling maybe he dropped it in like a puddle or something, because no charge lights, nothing. I even changed the battery out and put in a battery from a working DSi XL, and it didn't work. But that one, there was a Wii with everything. This Wii does not have the top panel for the GameCube controller cover, but the Wii works. It had everything. A big, massive pile of random cables. This isn't even all of them. Some HDMI cables. There's a Super Nintendo AV cable in there. There was a car charger and another charger for DS. There was a 360 controller in pretty damn nice shape, actually, for being in the box that it was in, with like tool grease and stuff, with a rechargeable battery and charge cable. I didn't get any games at this guy's place. Oh, then I got another PS3. This one from him was an 80 gig. This one actually powered on at his house. We just plugged it in just to see if it would come on, and it did. And it actually had a copy of Unreal Tournament in there, Unreal Tournament 3 on the PS3, obviously. But he just said screw it, and he stuck it back in the system and gave it to me. But we didn't hook it up to a TV, so it's sort of a crapshoot if it played or not. Unfortunately, it brings up a massive warning, internal error, contact, technical support or whatever. So that one has issues as well. This one, chilling right up here, is actually mine that died. So right now I have 3 dead PS3s in the living room. And what else came from him? Oh, there was I think one more. Yeah, there was no two more. Two more black DS lights. I don't know why exactly he had so many black ones. He mentioned that he does a lot of buying stuff from pawn shops. I don't know if he has friends at pawn shops or he goes in and buys like a ton of stuff to get, you know, a certain deal, but whatever reason they had a bunch of crap, and like I said, he had three black DS lights. Like I said, two had chargers, and that was it. I think that's all I got from him. But all of that came to $70 from him. So it kind of ended up being like $10 a piece for the systems, which luckily almost all of them worked except for the PS3 and that Mario DSi XL. Then all that cables and stuff and that controller was basically free. What else have I not shown yet? Oh, okay. Three more sales, I believe. One sale, I talked to this kid for about 15 minutes, and he ended up getting three things, where he brought three things out for me. A copy of Pokemon Gold, Mario Double Dash on GameCube. That one's complete with the manual, and definitely probably one of the highlights. Fortunately, he didn't have like any games for it, because I guess he didn't really enjoy it or whatever, and no charger, but a PS Vita. And it is the 3G version. It does have a memory card in there, a 4 gig memory card. That was $50. It was one of those places where the kid just seemed to not really know where anything was, and things were just lying around because he said he had more GameCube games, he couldn't find them. But yeah, all that for $50. I had to take a break there for a second. I'm starting to lose my voice. But the last few pickups that I got for $20, a working DSi XL blue one, and that one did come with the charger, and also a 360 controller, Resident Evil red and black one for $10 at that same sale. No games. They couldn't find any games. They said they only had a few games for the DSi anyway, and they didn't want to part with any 360 games. After that, this was a pretty sweet one. I thought this was going to be one of the best ones also of the day until the very last place I went to, which obviously I'll get to that in a second. For $40, yeah, $40. A beat-up DS original. You can actually see it has like the name Charlotte, I think, carved in there. But it does work, and it came with a copy of New Super Mario Bros. Complete, Contra 4, and Pokemon Pearl. And inside the system was also a copy of Heart Gold. So that was pretty sweet. Too bad there was no case for the Heart Gold or the Poke Walker, but so that was $40. And the reason why I was kind of speeding through those is the very last sale I went to was the longest transaction. It took the longest, at least. I get to their house, and the wife asks if I want to buy their treadmill that they have in the front yard. I said, no, I'm just looking for video games, and they didn't have any. And then I was sort of poking around for like 30 seconds, and they asked me, well, what type of games, are you looking for? And I said, anything, old, new. I try to make that, really clear at any garage sale. It's like I'm looking for anything video game related, not just the brand, most new thing. And I said, even handheld stuff. Do you like Pokemon for the DS or Mario, Zelda, that kind of thing? And when I said Pokemon, they sort of, were like, well, actually, we might have a few Pokemon games. And I was like, okay, well, that's great. And he goes, but they're not here. They own a after-school program, like they own a center that they do after-school programs for kids. And they said they're there because they have like some video game machines set up, but the kids never play the DS games because they don't have an actual DS machine for them to play. They had like PS3, 360, and Wii, but basically if a kid brings their own DS, I guess they could play these few games. Also, one of the games was like a lost and found kind of game. Someone lost it about 3 weeks ago, and it's been sitting there. No one claimed it. So he said, well, if you follow me down to the rec center, I'll show you the Pokemon games we have. And I'm thinking, okay, maybe like one or two, and probably, not the best ones that I could find. But he pulled out a little stack of 4. This was all the DS games they even had. They just had 4 DS games, and they were all Pokemon. Pokemon Black 2. No boxes, obviously, just the games themselves. Soul Silver, so that goes nicely with that Heart Gold. And copy of Black, the original Black. And then this one was a little weird. This was the one that was in the Lost and Found, technically. Pokemon Y, that's pretty much, a month old now or something like that. So pretty surprised to see that. All I had in my wallet at that time left was $31, and he didn't seem too keen on $31 for them. He says, I really don't know how much they're going for, and I was like, well, new, they're like 30 to 40 bucks. I am garage selling to try to get them, cheaper, obviously, than buying them in the store. So he actually pulled all 4 of them away and was like, he handed me his business card. And you gotta remember, I actually drove to this guy's business. So I'm like, I kind of didn't want to leave there without them. And he's like, yeah, I'm thinking maybe I would want a little more. And how about you just give me a call, like on Monday or whatever, and we can maybe figure something out. And I was like, no, that ain't going to work. That never works. So he then offered for me to look at the video games they have that the kids actually play, because he was thinking of getting some new games for them. And they had a bin of a bunch of old 360 games, a bunch of nice Wii games, which I immediately started grabbing, the Marios, and he had no Zeldas, but there was a Kirby Epic Yarn and Sonic Colors. And then he said, yeah, actually the Wii games I think I want to hold on to, because I kind of think he realized, oh, I'm grabbing all the good ones, not the shitty ones out of there. So I didn't get any of the Wii ones, but one game that I did pull out, which he was like, oh, you want that one? Was Spyro Dawn of the Dragon. And for those that don't know, this is a little bit harder to find Spyro game. I believe it's still like around $30 or so pre-owned. So I grabbed that. It's not in the best condition. The disc is technically okay, but the manual and the case on it are pretty beat up. And it kind of sucks because I actually want this game for my collection. I do not have it yet. But I grabbed that, and then I said, well, how about I can run to the ATM. I mean, I know there's like a bank like right down the road. I can run to the ATM, and how about I offer you $50? It would be $10 a game, basically. 10 a piece for the 4 Pokemon and 10 for this. I'm like, $50 for all 5. And he's like, okay, I think we can do that. So I jump in the car, run to the bank really quick, get out the money, come back. He's already gone online on the computer at their rec center thing. And he goes, man, you're getting a good deal on these. And I was like, oh, shit. And I was thinking he was going to like jack up the price, especially for the fact that Pokemon Y is brand new and he was going to see it online for like $40. But he just said, no, you're going to get a good deal, and gave them to me for $50. So that was the last, sale of the day, and it ended on a really high note. So really big Pokemon day, really big handheld day. I think this might beat the record for as many handhelds I ever got on one day. About, 4 or 5 months ago, I got like a crap ton at a bunch of different garage sales. But that's it, I think. So first thing, thumbs up the video if you have not done so already, because this doesn't happen all the time, this many great pickups in one single day. But also, there were a ton of sales. Like I said, the day started out with a community sale. Unfortunately, that didn't pan out, but it was almost like multiple little mini community sales everywhere. When there was one garage sale, there was like 3 or 4 surrounding it. So I had an hour and a half of crap, and it just goes to show that if you stick with it and you're willing to be out there for 5.5 hours like I was, you can find some really good stuff. And I left my phone numbers with some other people that they actually already called me. The guy that I sold all the systems to me for $70, he had already got like another Wii and a 360. But I said, well, I just got a Wii from you. They don't really, fly off the shelf or anything, so let me just hang on to that one. But so, even the connections I got today were awesome and better than usual. But yeah, great day, and a little surprise. Tomorrow, I should be filming a new episode of Video Game Sellers at the Flea Market. So you can look forward to that, and hopefully you'll watch it. I want to say it'll be up on Wednesday, but don't quote me. It'll be up this week at some point. And that's it. So again, thumbs up the video. Leave a comment down below. What did you find this week? Or did you just, buy a cool game or something you've been looking for a while? and I will talk to you all later. Peace.